Hi and welcome back to my channel guys. I'm Bhagisha Mishra. I review and decode beauty pageants at my channel. So if you're watching me for the first time and you don't want to miss out on any pageant story, please consider hitting subscribe button and also turn on the bell icon so you'll be the first to get notified whenever a video goes live at my channel. So we have finally entered the finale week of Miss Universe 2020 and I'm so excited because there are so many events going on, the sponsor shoots are on, the teasers have been released and I'm so excited to look forward to every beauty queen social media handles because it's so much enthralling to catch up on all what is going on. So today I'm here before all of you to share my thoughts on the Telemundo interview which had been conducted last night, and many of the front runners of the Miss Universe 2020 competition, they stepped forward and they were interviewed by the media and the press. So without further ado, let's go ahead. Let me share my thoughts about all of the candidates who appeared for the press conference and media interviews. So let's get started. This particular interview, I have to say that Lara Datta and the entire Miss Diva organization has worked really hard for Adeline Castellino because they have actually made her accentuate her voice modulation. She sounds so much calm, poised and composed, and irrespective of being fierce, because her styling is so fierce and ferocious that she looks very much demanding in terms of her personality. Her articulation is on point and she speaks and deals with difficult questions with so much ease and composure. I remembered how the media asked her about the farmers' bill protest going on in India, and she handled the question very well. Without further complicating it in terms of controversy, she handled it very well by saying that this is not an issue only in India, but I think all across the globe the farmers have not been getting their due. So that was a very smart way to handle the question, which are tricky and controversial and which can stir controversy in India and worldwide. So I would like to really appreciate Adeline Castellino for being so firm, ferocious and at the same time so calm, composed and sophisticated. So definitely watch out for India because she is definitely in the game, and I see that India has finally arrived after so many years, and I do see a huge placement for India in the cards. Now coming to Rabia Mateo from the Philippines. So Philippines is one of my favorite contestants this year competing for the Miss Universe crown, and after watching her national pageant's performance, I was very much impressed by her overall personality and the charm she brings into the picture. After watching her in the press conference last night, I have to say that it's no surprise that Philippines is killing it when it comes to styling because the nation always sends the best prepared candidates to the Miss Universe competition. Apart from the styling, let's come to how she talks and how she deals with the question. I think she's very relatable, and I could completely relate to her 100% throughout the interview. I was hooked throughout the interview. I was glued because it was very much fun to watch, and I have to say that she has really come a long way because, as I mentioned in my national pageants finale review when Miss Universe Philippines was organized, that Rabia Mateo needs to work upon her voice modulation and articulation, and I have to say that she has done her job so well. She is on fire and she is giving her best at this moment, and we can definitely sense again a top 5 or a top 10 placement for Philippines in the cards. I could sense more assurance and confidence in her voice, and I have to say that she talked about her struggles, how she overcame her fears and how they are there for each other. The contestants who are competing for the Miss Universe title, how there is a sense of sisterhood among each other. She talked about that, and she further also emphasized on the fact that she is highly ambitious and she always looks forward to the constructive criticism which makes her improve on herself by every single passing day. So definitely Philippines is shining and standing out in the crowd. She is the queen of people's heart, and I have to say that I get very excited whenever I'm watching her or hearing to her interview. Now coming to one of my another favorites for Miss Universe 2020, she is none other than Amanda Obden from Thailand. Now I have heard Thailand after a very long time, after she won her national pageant and she gave certain media interviews. This is the very first time I am hearing her after a while. And I have to say that the Miss Universe Thailand organization, as expected, has worked really hard upon her, and it shows because now Amanda Obden sounds more confident, she sounds more bold, and she is very much affirmed and assertive about her opinions on the stage. That is a very good point. But if we talk about the relatability factor, because since now the IMG wants to crown a queen who is relatable to the people, who can stand as the spokesperson for the society, I still don't find that relatability factor in her speech. Although she can speak very well, and I know that if she gets into top 5, she can handle the on-stage question and answer very well, because it looks like she has done her homework very nicely, and I feel that definitely she can give her answer without any qualms, without any doubts. She is very fluent, but again that relatability factor is missing, which I don't think could be brought in by a lot of training. In her interview, she also acknowledged and appreciated the efforts of her fans who have been cheering for her throughout, not only from Thailand but all across the globe. So I can surely sense the loud applause and cheer for her in the prelims and the finale night in the coming week. Now next we have Venezuela. I think Venezuela is also a very decent speaker, and coming from the country which has won maximum number of beauty pageant titles, it's really not easy to underestimate this sash. But when I was hearing her, although she speaks well and she can talk well, I could see that she is not extremely confident about herself, and I don't see the fire which is there in the powerhouse nation like Venezuela. So that was my only concern. Also, at some point of the time in the interview, I got a little bit bored and I was distracted because she doesn't have that power to glue the listeners to whatever she is speaking. And that's why I feel that she may or she may not place in the coming finale. So rest assured that let's see what happens in the prelims, and everything will be decided further after that. And now let's come to another favorite interview of mine from the Telemundo interview, and we have none other than Ayu Maulida from Indonesia. Now, if you remember my previous video where I talked about the rising and the falling candidates in Miss Universe 2020, I was a little bit disappointed by Indonesia's consistency at the pageant, but trust me, Ayu Maulida proved me utterly wrong in this interview. I have to say that this was one of my favorite interviews throughout, and she was on fire. She was literally on fire. The kind of energy she reflected and the spunk and vivaciousness she had in her voice, I was blown away, and I feel that she is definitely going to place in the semi-finals. I don't even need to watch the prelims now. She is definitely going to place in the semi-finals. That's what I feel after watching this Telemundo interview, and this is a game changer for her at this point of the competition. So Ayu Maulida talked about her struggles. She talked about how she overcame the different kind of problems in her childhood and adolescence, and how she aspired to be the very first Miss Universe from Indonesia. And she also shared a very funny instance that when she was 5 years old, she wanted to be the first Miss Universe from Indonesia, which meant that the Indonesian queens would not be winning throughout till the time she grows up. And now finally she is there representing and bearing the sash of Indonesia across her chest, and she's proudly representing the nation. One thing which I really loved about her interview is that she said that I want to tell all the people who have been questioning me that she cannot speak good English, she cannot speak good English. Here I am, and I'm speaking in English despite of it being my second language, and I was blown away. She is, wow, she is simply amazing. The relatability factor, which I have been speaking on and off in almost all of my videos, I think I found it to the maximum quality, in Indonesia's interview, and I have to say that I could relate to her very closely, and she is the queen of people's heart. Like many of the other events, her outfit was also amazing in this one, and throughout the interview I observed that she has that sophistication, she has the charm and aura which screams attention for a pageant like Miss Universe. So throughout the interview I could not skip even one single part of that interview. It was so gluing and it was so good. Now next in line I have Colombia. Now Colombia is also highly passionate about her participation at Miss Universe pageant, and she shared about her experience as a kid when she wanted to be a part of a pageant like Miss Universe. and I could definitely feel that genuine authenticity in her voice and in her eyes. But at the same time, I still don't feel that fire which I see usually in most of the Colombian queens. So I feel that she can place in the semi-finals, but will she advance further? We shall see with time. Now, next in line we have Chile. I have to say that I was utterly disappointed by Chile's interview with Telemundo because I feel that she was not relatable at all. And she sounded very nervous to me in terms of her posture, in terms of her body language, and her voice is a little bit coarse as a queen for Miss Universe. Like for Miss Universe, we want a spokesperson to whom people can look up to and say that, hey, that's my queen. I don't see the same factor with Chile now. Although she has been doing great in behind the scenes videos, in photo shoots, and in social media handle, but that is not the only thing. It's the amalgamation of all the things which you bring into the picture and then you project it right in the 7 days or 10 days of the competition. And you have to be consistent. You cannot be laid back in any point of the time. I'm not saying that she's laid back, but I still don't feel that it factor in her interview when I watched it. So I was a little bit disappointed by Chile because I had huge expectations from this lady. Now next in line I have Aisha Braj from USA, and I have to say that like many of the other events I was also disappointed by the styling in this particular event, but I have to say that she's a very spontaneous and natural speaker. When I heard her, I was simply smiling all the way throughout the interview because it was that good, and it wasn't it did not come as a surprise to me because I had always believed and expected her to be a great speaker ever since she was participating in her national pageant. She was a great speaker and she won majorly because of that. But then again, other than that, I do feel that despite of being a great speaker, she has that lackluster kind of personality. I don't know if I'm the only one believing in it, and I am looking forward to prelims very eagerly so as to know how USA performs in that. But apart from that, let's come back to the interview. I think she spoke very well about her own individuality and how people talk about her each and every single move, just like we are doing right now. When you become a national figure, people look up to you and comment upon your each and every appearance. So you're always under the scrutiny of people. That is something which she spoke about, and I could definitely relate to whatever she was saying. So relatability wise, I think she was fabulous in that matter, and I do look forward to her performance in the coming preliminary competition. Now last but not the least, I have Estefania Soto from Puerto Rico. Oh my god, I was blown away. I mean, look at that styling. It's wow. It's simply amazing. And she definitely reminds me of the royal and regal presence of Roland Strauss. She is so good. And after looking at this interview, not only in terms of styling, but also in terms of composure, body language, overall personality, and how she connects with the media and the audience, I have to say that she is one of the toughest crown contender for the crown. Last night I shared my pre-prelims favorites of Miss Universe in my Instagram story, and I had her in my top 5. Now I can definitely say that she definitely deserves that place. Not only the top 5, I would not be surprised if she even goes on to win the crown of Miss Universe 2020. She's very composed and calm, she's very relatable, she's very concise and to the point when it comes to her speech and her dialogues. I think that she is very well aware about how much she should speak and what is necessary to talk about. She never goes on and on talking about the random things in her interview, and that is what makes her interview perfect. And I also feel that she will kill the on-stage question and answer round if she makes it to top 5. There is no looking back. She's going to kill it and may even emerge as the winner, as I have been saying again and again. And trust me, this was the only interview I was hooked throughout the interview. I was not bored for even 1 millisecond because she talked about her predecessor's placement at Miss Universe pageant, how Puerto Rico has been doing great at Miss Universe, and how she's handling all the pressure which she's getting from her fellow countrymen. So I think she was very much at her best during this interview, and she also talks about being real, and that simply attracts me a lot. So with this, I have come towards the end of the video. So if I were to pick 3 best speakers from the Telemundo interview, I think it would be Puerto Rico, Indonesia and India. These were my top 3 favorites from the Telemundo interview I had watched, and I'm really looking forward to more events from the Miss Universe pageant. Also, do let me know in the comments section what do you think about each individual's interview with Telemundo, and I'll be coming up with more videos related to Miss Universe as I always do. And I will see you guys soon with the next one. So please keep on supporting me. Please keep on liking, sharing and commenting on the videos. And also turn on the bell icon so you always get notified whenever a new video regarding the episode of Miss Universe 2020 is going live at my channel. So thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next time.